Oh la la la. Lala, Lala, Lala Anthony. See, I'm a New Yorker, and this tea that Choke No Joke spilled, I heard a lot about this going back to 2004. I'm going to get to it. But first, let me just give a summary of how all this tea came about. Let's talk, shall we? Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your girl, Missing a Little Call, and I'm coming to you in the wee hours of the morning at midnight on this clear Monday morning in NYC. It's 12:06, and I gotta say, I do like the nighttime. I really do. I feel that my mind is more clear at night. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So I'm up. I haven't been going to bed yet. And I just want to talk about this whole Lala Anthony story. I saw the video that Choke No Joke made, and I really like Choke No Joke's commentary. I like the videos he posts. They're very informative, especially from a person that was in the mix of hip-hop back in the 90s when hip-hop was hip-hop, you know. Very important person, in my opinion. Videographer. Made a lot of videos. Very good at what he does. But unfortunately, he didn't play the game. Well, no, fortunately, he did not play the game, which is why he could walk away and say what he wants to say. So anyway, he talked about Lala Anthony, and he wasn't talking about her so much to be bitter, which is what a lot of people are saying. I'm going to get to that in just a short, brief moment. But the reason why he talks about Lala Anthony is because Lala Anthony was at this festival, and she made a comment like, if you we don't need no dudes, you know, no niggas and all this stuff, you know, say it loud, you with me, you know, getting the crowd hyped up. But she was saying that she didn't need a broke dude, and she didn't really need a nigga to make herself valid. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some of what she said wasn't bad, but it's like this, Lala. You kind of came up by being with Carmelo Anthony. You was able to get into that multi-million-dollar club. Now, a lot of people think that it's the other way, that because Carmelo Anthony wasn't a household name, that he came up through Lala. No. Sports will always be more lucrative than entertainment because still it's more revenue that's guaranteed to come in. With entertainment, particularly music, what she was doing as a VJ, records stopped selling after 2003. And the lifeline of a VJ, particularly on a show such as TRL, ended when you were like 24. She was 24, about to be 25, when she got with Carmelo Anthony. And I remember once she got Carmelo Anthony, she was not a VJ anymore. She was not a VJ anymore in TRL. So, in the video, Choke No Joke talks about a couple of things. And what he talked about was basically, this is what she said. She said, all my ladies who don't give a fuck about a nigga, make some noise. I really don't though. So, it's kind of alluding that she doesn't want to be around Carmelo Anthony. And I'm not going to lie, I never saw any chemistry between the two of them. I never really did. But anyway, Choke No Joke said that when she made that comment, it set her off because he witnessed something between Carmelo, Lala, and her boyfriend at the time, named Sugar J. Now, this is what he says. He says, now, I am against all this BS rhetoric. To be honest with you, men dissing women and women dissing men. Now, all of this comes on the heels of her spouse, Carmelo Anthony, allegedly cheating on her again. Did he cheat? He has flat out denied the allegations and says he has not regressed into the poom-poom of another woman. But this is what Choke No Joke also said on his Instagram. He said this video of Lala Anthony saying that she doesn't need a nigga for anything and that she really doesn't care about a nigga pissed me the fuck off. Lala and her crew came up off of niggas. I hate women that say they don't need a man for anything after he gave you everything, especially a son. You spit in that man's face in public, but you didn't like it when Sugar J literally spit in your face in public at Babalu's at Swiss Beats party back in the day. What a great message to send to your son, that he's worthless to a woman. The backstory is this. Lala was Sugar J's girl and was sneaking around with Carmelo Anthony, clearly because he was a prospect to become an NBA player. We all know he knew that he was going to get drafted. Back in the days, Lala and her friends all were after NBA players, and some of them got babies by them. Most of these women were undercover lesbians, as I believe Lala is. I believe her relationship with Kelly, Kim, and others are more than it appears, especially when she had the VH1 show with my girl, Ayana Poe, a former lesbian who worked with me at BET, who's now, after all these years, has a man too. Who has a man now too. So basically, I'm sure that they taught her a man is financial security with a baby. Do you see how hard Lala goes for Gay Pride every year? That is true. She goes hard. I was there when Lala was with Sugar J and saw her creeping with Mello till the day she got caught at Babalu and Sugar and Mello had the fight that got Mello arrested and sued. I remember that. Sugar J walked in the club and was standing next to Lala. Sugar says, "Hey, baby," and goes to give Lala a kiss, and she moves. He looks puzzled, and she says, "I'm here with my man." Sugar replies, "Your man? I'm your man," as we all knew. Sugar heart breaks right in my face. He walks away to the back of the party. Now, Mello is right behind me in the VIP, not knowing what they are saying and don't know Sugar. Sugar went and said happy birthday to Swiss, and he came walking back, leaving the party, about to cry, and Lala, now standing in the VIP, sees Sugar leaving and feels bad, reaches over and grabs him to apologize, I assume, and he spat in her face. Mello just sees a dude spit in her face, jumps over the rail and fights Sugar. The rest is history. You know, they had the kid and they got married and la 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 la. Now I'm going to tell you from a New York City girl's perspective. I'm from New York, and TRL is down in Times Square. From where I'm located, that's about, on a train, that's like a good 20 minutes, okay? Seriously. Now, when I used to watch TRL, when it first came out, I really liked it. Even though some of the music I didn't like because I wasn't into rock and roll, but I did like the pop scene, and I'm an R&B girl at heart. But when they hired Lala, I believe they brought her in around like 2000, 2001. They brought her into MTV because they wanted an urban female. But they also had to fit in that Latina quota. Now, you had Quotas. Quotas was from Canada, and I believe he was Haitian. He was Haitian, but he was black. But they needed to fit that Latino quota. And Lala is Latina, but she does go by being Afro-Latina. She does acknowledge that she's a black woman. And I will give her that respect, because most of them at the time didn't. And she's always done it for day one. But it was always something about Lala that came across like she was like a mean girl, that secretly behind closed doors, she would try to set up another female if she felt threatened by her, or if she didn't think that the female was worthy to be around, she would like tease her. She always gave off that mean girl vibe. Like she was like like she was snaky. And I could see that getting to how she got to where she was in a matter of 3-4 years by the time she was on there. And then her relationship with Ludacris, I'm going to get to that too. because I found that to be weird that Sugar J resembles Ludacris. I thought that was very, very interesting. And if you looked at how Lala looked before, even though all of us girls wore polos, we wore cream eyeshadow, costume jewelry, pork pie hats, belts with the name on it or the glitter belts. Like, our shopping was like Strawberries, H&M, Old Navy, Gap, Moni, Jimmy Jazz. I'm gonna keep it real. Those were like the high-end boutiques. Lala was not a person that really could compete with the ballers, the girls who was getting the ballers. Now, what I found interesting about Lala is that Lala dressed like a real tomboy. If you ever saw her documentary on TV One, she dressed like a stone cold. She dressed like a bullsagger. I'm just going to be honest with you. But at the time, it was socially acceptable to dress like that, especially if you were like a fan of the Brat, because she dressed like the Brat. She dressed like the Brat in high school. Her and her cousin Poe, they went to the same high school and they dressed alike. Now, back in 2004, a story was posted in the National Enquirer. And it had to do with Lala getting into a fight with a girl because the girl was talking to not Carmelo Anthony, but she was actually dating a guy who was in the NBA. And Lala was talking to him, and she knew that the girl was dating him, but she didn't give a damn because she was trying to latch on to whatever she can get. Because, like I said, the timeline, the lifeline for being a VJ on MTV after 24, it was a wrap. It was cut off. So once you approached 25, you were done. And she was hitting 25. So she had to be secure by all means. And I remember this article. And in the article, it said that Lala threatened to cut the girl's face. And I thought that was so weird and crazy because I'm like, Lala, like, why would you go to the extremes to do that? There's always BET and 106 in Park and Rap City. You know, I mean, if it ever gets bad, you don't have to resort to violence. You could always go to BET. And I just felt like after that, like everything that I thought about her when I first saw her, I was like, it's confirmed. So the girl, according to the story, basically, even though Lala threatened to cut her face, she did whip her, but eventually she broke up with the dude. A month later, I'm reading that she's with Carmelo Anthony. Now, the dude who was the basketball player that they named was not Carmelo Anthony. He had a different name and he was tall and he was brown skinned. It wasn't him. But this story was true because a lot of the hip hop outlets was talking about it on their radio shows. Even Wendy Williams was talking about it. So it was a big story. And it actually did stall her career in communication television, because if you notice, the only thing she did after TRL was hosting the reunions of Flavor of Love. That's why she did it. A lot of people thought she did it because she was with Carmelo Anthony. She didn't have to work. And then maybe she had the little boy. No, she had gotten blackballed and blacklisted. And that's what happened. But after she got married to Carmelo Anthony, that's when her net worth started to increase because he was wealthy. All them years when she was engaged and just a mother of his child, she didn't really have a high net worth until she married him. And they said that he was forced to marry her for his image, but she was pressuring him too. Now, Choke No Joke. A lot of you all are saying that Choke No Joke is bitter, that he's coming off very effeminate. Let me tell you something. This man was around in hip-hop for years, for decades, okay? Sugar J is Choke No Joke's cousin through marriage. His uncle is married to Choke No Joke's aunt. So they're cousins-in-laws. Of course, he's going to ride for a cousin. Now, second of all, remember when I said Sugar J looks like Ludacris? Ludacris and her used to work together back in Atlanta. That was her first radio job. That's how she got picked to be a VJ. She co-hosted a show with Luda. But Luda got his contract with Def Jam to be a rapper. And she ended up going to MTV. Now, for him to look like Ludacris, it told me something. She liked Ludacris at some point in time. And allegedly, she admitted to sleeping with Ludacris. Supposedly, that's showing up on the internet feeds that she admitted to having sexual relationships with Luda. Which, I'm not surprised. But the question is, also, being that Choke No Joke has alluded to her being a lesbian and going hard for Pride, was she a lesbian when she was coming up? And I will say this. I've heard the rumors too. But I've heard that she was bisexual. Which I wouldn't be surprised, being in how she dressed when she was a teen. And I really tried to get those photos, but they have been wiped out. And I think she did it and hired her publicist to do it. I think she did it on purpose. But when you look at that show, Lala's Full Court, she did not have any females in her circle that was straight. She didn't have any females there that was straight. And that show was on for about like 4 years. And you hardly saw Carmelo. And I thought that was weird too. And then she didn't have the baby no more. She said she had like preeclampsia. But I just feel that it's a possibility that Lala has dipped in the lady pond. Probably when she was a teen. And then probably was like, maybe I'll go straight just for my career. Just for being public. But for me, and I'm going to wrap it up because I am talking a little bit too long. I'm just going to say it because it's at night and I'm enjoying the conversation. What I do think happened with Lala is that Lala was trying to seize whatever opportunity she could get. And she knew that being a VJ may not have lasted a long time, but the possibility of being an NBA wife could be a longer career for her. And she could come out with millions. And regardless of how you feel about whether you like her for it or not, you hate her, you gotta admit, she played the game to this point smart. She did. Because she knew that being a VJ, it wasn't lasting for her. And also too, for all the women out there, I will say this and be honest. Try to have something for yourself. Try to have something for yourself. Even if you are married to a rich man, if you're listening to my channel, have something for yourself. Because at the end of the day, with this marriage, this is going to be a big divorce case. And the media is going to have a field day talking about it. But I will also say one thing too. I do think if Carmelo Anthony would have never married her, he would have got the ring, if you know what I'm alluding to. And on that note, this is your girl, Miss Little Call. I'm signing off. Make sure you share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll talk to you real soon. Later.